Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for August 12th, 2020, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Remind everybody that we have a Time for Change Awakening call tonight at 9 p.m. on this line, Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. As always, I suggest you bring something to write with. We're going to expand out in areas that aren't discussed in this civilization. The power that we all contain within us creates everything. With this planet on the surface, on it, in it, above it, below it. When the collective consciousness becomes, when it's, let's say, manipulated in certain ways, because if the majority is not awake, it's much easier to do. So when that happens, the power of the actual happenings come from the collective consciousness. So I'll give you an example. World War II was an example of that. Convincing the people to take out revenge on another people that did not instigate the situation. So if the people, the majority, believe, they're going to create it. It's automatic. And it doesn't mean that the majority understands that, because they don't, because they're not awake. So they follow that direction, that illusion. Like in all conflicts on this planet, if the majority believes, they will create whatever it is the controllers of the corrupted souls want them to do or engage in. And this is something the corrupted souls know, so they know that if they can manipulate the power of the people into the direction that they wish to have whatever it be accomplished, then that's how they do it. They can't do it themselves. They don't have the ability or power. Only the people have the power. And then on top of it, if you make the people believe that they don't have the power, but yet they do have the power, it's kind of a little confusing, but without them being conscious, they intend in a direction that is false 99% of the time. So this is what's taken place with the civilization for a very long time, hundreds of thousands of years. So it's always when the corrupted souls convince the people, or let's just say the personable leaders convince the population that something is, so then if they believe it collectively, it will be. It'll be an illusion that's created. So it's kind of like a holographic grid of frequencies put together. It's made into something that appears to be real, but actually is not. So it's always kind of like tricks, the pea under the shell game. Keep your eye on it and see where it goes. Very rarely do you pick the pea under the shell. So it's always about deception. And what is, isn't. So you understand that what is, isn't. The what is the illusion. And what is really the reality? What is the real happening? You are. Each of us are the real happening. Not externally. And this is why I emphasize it so much. it is always internal. People say, well, if you go internal, how are you going to live? How are you going to interact with this world? Well, you will very well, because you operate from within before you do anything outside. So you always go within, deep within your core, and then you have a good relationship with your God, a loving relationship with your God, with yourself. And, you've gone through the forgiveness, and you go with the flow, and you have no expectations or attachments, and you are. And you're really content with that. So the chances of you being engaged in a manipulation or a deception are very slim. And this is the whole point, because what happens to us is that once we make that step of understanding with ourselves in our own way, we then begin to understand that it's always been this way for us, but we have not had the opportunity to explore it because of the incessant deception of externality, of the forces externally trying to manipulate and trick each of us into believing certain things that just are not. And it is only us that when we embrace something that is not, it then becomes is. It is. Because that's the power that we all have. Anything that you want a civilization of a planet to be at your fingertips, it is the manipulation, deception, and control factor of the corrupted souls. Any planet, any civilization. If there is disruption amongst the population and the planet needs to be liberated, that's why, because the corrupted souls of that civilization or others involved with the civilization are manipulating the people, and then the people become aware enough where they just won't tolerate it. It's over. And all of those who have corrupted souls who just desire, that's their embellishment for themselves, that's their involvement of their existence, they can no longer hold the frequency, see? Now, what do you think's happening on this planet right now? They cannot hold their frequencies. So their clones and their drones and automatrons and all of the attempts to try to sustain their hierarchy and control factor cannot be anymore. Now, the deception for them is to continually believe that it will always be in their control and power. And that is not how things work, but that's how they've been taught. It is the power of the people of the planet, in any planet that is going through liberation, is the one that liberates the planet, because everything shifts and changes. The energetic waves and the balancing comes into full swing, and it's replaced from, you leave the obstruction, conflict, all of the manipulation, all of those lower frequencies cannot sustain, so you literally elevate the civilization up and out of it, because they've decided that it is over. You understand? They decide that it is over. Not the small group of corrupted souls that have been manipulating the planet and the civilization for a long time. They're not the ones. And that's what this is partially about, of coming full circle with ourselves and being consciously aware and connected deeply with our core center of our God or pure consciousness, is coming full circle to understand that this cannot be anymore. And it will not be anymore. And that's, if you ever notice that, why do you think they have media, newspapers, television? Why do you think they have all that? It is a vehicle and a tool to manipulate the civilization and population of the planet. That's all it is. And all of these tools and vehicles, when we're in these physical forms, we become distracted. We all do. We all get distracted. None of us are exempt from it. And so, but some others who are not conscious yet become totally immersed in it. I mean, it's like, they're a holy grail, the belief system, the mechanism. And that's very powerful for the corrupted souls because they're able to continually control the population of the planet. That's all there is to it. The only reason that things happen is if the civilization is not awake. The only reason the corrupted souls can run a planet is if the civilization is not awake. That's the only way, period. Only way. Now, do you think Christ, Yeshua, do you think that he would have been able to talk with people and communicate with them in parables so that hopefully they start to understand that the ones he did talk to, when he came out of bicameralism and was conscious, and so then he started figuring, well, I'm just going to talk with people, and it's just like we do. Okay, so you guys, you talk with people, you interact with people. Now you sense already that, okay, so they're not awake. It's no big deal. Doesn't make any different than we are. Okay, it's just that they haven't woken up yet. So when you talk with people and they kind of roll their eyes and they kind of put here we go, that type of thing. That's what he experienced in a lot of ways. But the people. Do you think that the people back then are any different than the people now that are bicameral? Not really. Because look what he did when he became conscious. So you think those people that became conscious, they would have done the same thing that he was doing? Obviously, yes. So we realize that it's really everything that occurs isn't outside of ourselves. We are the ones that give it the power to be. Now, if you went up to your average brother or sister and said that, maybe some of them would say, well, that might be a possibility. But it's the power of intent that literally controls the very thing that the civilization does not care for, controls it. Isn't that ironic? The very thing that the civilization does not care for, in other words, doesn't wish to be engaged with it or to live that way, so to speak, they create it. And it doesn't mean that they consciously know that they created it. But that's always the way. There's no exception for it. It depends on the actual resolve of the civilization. It's a collective. We're all a collective. We're all part of each other. We're all part of Source Creator. Source Creator created us. So you realize that if this planet is transcending, the people on the planet are transcending into a higher vibrational frequency of 5D, it means that more and more are becoming aware. And that's why the human resonance of the planet's frequencies has risen so greatly, because the collective consciousness of this planet has gone up. It is no longer interested in conflict. Now, the corrupted souls, they're in lower frequencies, so they're constantly entertaining conflict. Destruction and hatred and fear, and all of those things that we're all familiar with and we've all been exposed to. So, you've heard this, you may have said it to yourself, if it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. And what that basically means in a subtle way is that if you are to be, and you are to be awake and aware, and have a deep, intimate relationship with the God within you, and that you're internal with your journey, and that you go through the steps of forgiveness, of gentleness, of surrender, of kindness, generosity, and humbleness, you then begin to understand that you are. If it is to be, it's up to me. And that's your intent. If you desire peace, prosperity, happiness, and joy, it is up to you. It isn't up to anything outside of you. It is up to you. Now, a lot of people become frightened about that thought because of the fact that, unfortunately, they have not eliminated the veil that separates them from their God. Now, it's just an illusionary separation because they can never be separated from their God. But if they believe that they are, then they will be through the illusion. If they believe that the God is separate, then the God is separate because that's what they believe. That's their intent. So they create the illusion that literally gives them or affords them that understanding. The God isn't in me, it's up there. The God's up there. I look up and I pray to the God up there in the heavens. See? That's the difference. And it is how the civilization has been manipulated forever by many other species and civilizations. Now, is it a bad thing? Not necessarily, because we continue to gain experience. We continue to experience, and we move forward, not backward. So we keep moving forward. We don't look over our shoulder. We keep moving forward. And as we keep moving forward, we begin to realize that this is what will occur. You'll come into understanding that what it is you desire is what it is you will create. No one else will do it. You will. Each of us. So it makes understandable that when we come as a collective, when we understand that we are all one with each other, that we are together, then the intent becomes super powerful from the aspect of we collectively desire the God planet, paradise. We collectively desire peace and prosperity and abundance and happiness and wonderful health. We desire all these things collectively. And there's a lot of us, there's a lot of people on the planet that do, but there's fragments of their understanding. So they're not wholly connected to the God within them. This is important to understand because in the ensuing weeks ahead of us, we're going to experience things that are going to ask us to embrace our God. And when you know that, and those of us who have done that, will continue to perfect that understanding. Those who are beginning to will take those journeys and steps in their own way to discover just who and what they are. You're not the body. You're the God. The body houses the God. So the body is the kingdom. The pure consciousness or the God within you, that's the power. That's what does all things. That's what heals, creates, across the board. You know, a lot of people don't seem to realize they might be looking over something, and they start thinking, and usually it comes from the heart mind, but they're not really aware of that. But it comes from the heart mind, and they say, boy, wouldn't it be nice if this area here had more trees and was greener, and it just was lush, and it was just much nicer than the grayed out desert parched look. And unbeknownst to them, that intent, because you know what happens? They drop it because they're just feeling it. There's no reason, they just feel it. And you know what happens? That area that they intended changes. They're not there to experience it. Because they're not consciously aware that what they've done is they've affected and they've moved energy into form. They don't know it. But that's what happens with us. We move the energy into form just simply by intending. And the reason it does take place is because we don't mess with it. We don't fiddle with it. We just leave it alone. We just intend it, and then we don't think really anything of it, and we move on. So it's a whole different, when you take billions of guys and you put them on a planet, and they're all in physical form. They're all in a biological vessel. it transforms the planet. Now, it can transform it into conflict. It can transform it into beauty and peace and joy. It just depends. Now, if you took all life on this planet, I'm going to guarantee you something. You came to visit it, it would have a whole different feeling. A whole different feeling. So you begin to understand that you're the power. There's no doubt. And there should be no guilt or fear. Those are only thoughts that we embrace into reality. But we all are the reverence, the divinity, the perfection. That's what's in us. Do you think it's flawed? Do you think the God within you is flawed? Some people do. Some people think that God is flawed because it's up there. The God is up there. It's outside of us, which is just crap. That's just not true. And you search yourselves and you'll know that it's just crap. Because you'll know where the God is at all times, within each and every one of us. So what is our intent? Our intent, along with a lot of our brothers and sisters throughout the universes and galaxies and solar systems, is to free this planet and to free the people of this planet who live on the surface, and also assisting those on and above and below. That's why we're here. Do you think we were just put here just to be here? No. Every civilization discovers its direction eventually. Why is it here? It's always here to change things. We're always changing. Our creation, our power in creation is change. It's evolution. It's advancement. Everything is just constantly advancing. The love within us is constantly advancing. So when we learn, as we've learned as a civilization to the extent where we're moving the frequencies into a higher and higher existence, you begin to feel it, and then it identifies with you and the God within you. Then you literally vaporize the veil that's been literally confusing you and stopping you from your full embrace of the God within you. Once you understand that and you believe with yourself, then you'll be able to really create anything that you intend, that you desire. And you won't spend time with it. You'll just intend it and move on. That's it. So we're on the threshold as a civilization of literally transforming the planet. Have you noticed that all this rhetoric, do you notice at times it feels like insignificant in a way? It has no impact. If anything, it's absolutely silly. Have you experienced that yet? Because you will. Now, it is not meant to, in a negative way. It is meant of an observance and an understanding of clarity for all of us. That it's no longer entertaining for us. Our attention and our power is being directed into a higher frequency, not directed into a lower frequency to keep that lower frequency a controlling factor of this civilization. Not anymore. It doesn't work. And you're going to see more and more of it. You're going to experience more and more and more of it. It's not going to. It isn't going to be flash, boom, bang. It's going to be smooth, easy, and yet relentless. So the transformation that people ask me, when's it coming? It's already here. In fact, it's heavy duty engaged, and it's not anywhere near the starting point. It's way beyond that. So this is why we will continue to experience shifts and changes, physicalities, areas, things, and places that all of a sudden aren't there. But it won't be something that's alarming to us. It'll just be, that's funny. I thought the last time I looked, that's there. It's not there anymore. So it always, for us, is learning, experiencing. That's what we do. We experience, we learn. We experience, we learn. And we collect that. And it's registered in our data bank, so to speak, the one, the collective. And then we utilize it as we advance and as we grow and as we evolve. We use it. We use the experience. We use the experience. We've gained a massive amount of experience in thousands and thousands and thousands of years of incarnating incessantly over and over again into these bodies. So you're a master incarnator. You can't. How can you not be? You could only incarnate once in a body and be a master because you were able to do it. You see what I mean? You understand something. You have to agree to go into physical form. You can't be forced into one. You must agree to it. You have to agree to it. You choose to. So just because we're zapped coming and going, that's different. But when we intend, I'm going to go into a body because we decide to. And I'm going to leave the body. So it changes for us when we become aware before we leave the body. This is important. You make the bridge with the God within you. You become aware of who and what you are before you leave the body. And this is why when we become immortal, what will happen is it will give us enough time in the body to learn this. So it's all connected. To learn this so that when we choose to leave the body, we will be equipped with the understanding that the trickery that is performed upon us when we leave the body can no longer be performed upon us. You see where this is going? And that's been going on for many, many millennia, a long time. And we're going to end it. So always, without the ego mind, with the heart mind, reconfirm that you, the God within you, is perfection. It's divine perfection. So something that perfect. Now, when you enter the body, you don't know any of this. But when you begin to concentrate, is that the God within me is absolute perfection. And we're all created equal. We all have a God within us. And that all the gods within us are absolute perfection. This meditation is perfection. We, the God within us, is pure perfection. So if you will, go to the place where you aren't going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are. First thing that we want to do is relax our bodies. Why would we want to have stressed out bodies? Doesn't make sense, does it? So we alleviate the stress. Now, along the way, we use things to help us do that, but then eventually we get to the point where we can do it just automatically. It's always about training wheels. We use certain technologies and things to help us, and then it gets to the point where we don't need them anymore. So we relax the body, we drop the shoulders, The body holds a lot of stress and tension in different areas. It's like little pockets, little databases here and there. And then we aren't aware of it, but it's there. We collect it. Thoughts, all kinds of things. So you release it, let it go. You'll find out where it is. Take your hands and start feeling around, and where it's sensitive to the touch, as far as it's a frequency that's being kept there. Your cervical spine, the back of your neck, lower lumbar, buttocks, gluteus maximus, different areas, ankles, toes, fingers, abdomen, eye. All of these areas, every one of us are different, but we collect it. It's sneaky stuff. We do collect it. So you just identify, let it go. Surrender. All of it. And it'll leave. It'll dissipate. The body's able to relax. So we get the body into a relaxed state. That's why a lot of us fall asleep. So when the body's in a relaxed state, we move into the now. And the now keeps us in a relaxed state. You know why? Because it isn't busy. We don't have all that chatter and the thousands of thoughts, mostly not ours, that we embrace and create into reality. We just have the now. We focus on moment to moment, the space between heartbeats. Whatever we're doing in the moment is all we're focused on. Nothing else. If you see an artisan or an artist that's really into what they're creating, you ever notice when you watch them, a bomb could go off and they would not be deterred from the concentration of focus that they're having in the moment. That's what makes an artist so spectacular. They focus on the moment as they create the art. It is always moment to moment. It's never anything else. Do you honestly think that they're thinking, 10 years from now or 20 years ago? No. They're only focused on the moment. That's why they seem to be so at ease when they are in their joy. You see what I mean? It's the same with singers. It doesn't matter. When they're in the moment, it is only the moment. It's what they celebrate. And it's what we will eventually celebrate every chance we can, because we're in it all the time, moment to moment, the now. Now, a lot of us, most of us, reminisce. We reflect back in the past. We embrace certain happenings and experiences. But, we all do that. That's fine. It's a good thing. But when we do it all the time, what happens is we become seduced. And we take that past, we bring it into a future that doesn't exist. We create that future from the past, and we relive that past in that future. So that's why some people will say, I feel like I've been running in circles my whole life. So it's only the now. There is no future, because we create the future that we're hoping or trying to get in the now. Now, also, we still the mind, the ego mind, the chatter, all the noise, all those thoughts are subsided, I guarantee you. When you're in the now, you don't have that chatter. And then we breathe. We want to breath in through our noses and breath out through our mouths. Not huge, just nice, easy breath in and breath out through the mouth. And what does the breath do? The breath is divine positive energy. You know why? Because it sustains the vessel that houses the God. Does that make sense? What is the kingdom of God? The body is the kingdom housing the God. So, the breath, divine positive energy, sustains the vessel that houses the God. Or, called the temple. Whatever you choose, it is not debatable. So the temple, or the kingdom of God, and the breath that sustains it is divine positive energy. And the breath also is only the now. The breath is only the now. It's not tomorrow, it's not yesterday. It's the now. And when you focus on your breathing, you'll know you're in the now. People say, well, how do I know I'm in the now? Well, you can check for yourself to focus on your breathing. As soon as you focus on your breathing through the heart mind, you're in the now. Whatever it is you're doing. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay? It's not that easy to do because we have a tendency to wander off. And when you wander off, it's really crazy, isn't it? Because the mind, remember, the mind has no structure. It just flails around everywhere. Same with the ego. So you've got this ego mind going on. And that's why you wander. It's not like you want to wander, but you do. You find yourself wandering off. And so you bring yourself back. That takes practice. But that you're doing the practice is the wonderful thing. Because eventually, you won't wander off. Period. So in the breath, we're all seated in comfortable positions. We have what we call energy vortexes. Now, quite a lot are ignored. It's not prevalent in this civilization to understand what this is. But these are, you heard them, chakras, energy vortexes. But they're very important. Now, they're not a physical thing in the body. They're etherical, spiritual. And they bridge the etheric spiritual world with the physical and vice versa. It's the connection. It's the spirituality. And our God-light energy, our chi or ki or prana, is brought through these vortexes of energy. They look like flowers in geometrical shapes. They're all different colors. We start off, as we take the divine positive energy, the breath in through the nose, the root chakra, which is a brilliant red wheel of light, Muladhara. And this root chakra is career, money mindset, and sense of belonging. And it represents our foundation and feeling of being grounded. And it's located at the base of the spine in the tailbone area. And the emotional issues are survival issues, such as financial independence, money, and food. And the physical association of it is your spine, your rectum, your legs, your arms, your circulatory system. When you find out how powerful these energy vortexes are, and you begin to understand, you begin to incorporate the understanding of how can the root chakra, if it's blocked, then you're going to have issues in any one of those areas, emotional and physical. Now we go to the sacral chakra, which is the orange wheel of light, the Vadasthana, which is sexuality and pleasure. Now, sacral chakra is our connection and ability to accept others and new experiences. It's in our lower abdomen, about 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in. Now, the emotional issues are sense of abundance, well-being, pleasure, and sexuality. And the physical association with our bodies is our reproductive organs, our kidneys, our bowels, our immune system. Then we go to the solar plexus chakra, the Manipura, personal power and ability to channel. This is the yellow wheel of light. It's our ability to be confident and in control of our lives. Its location is the upper abdomen in the stomach area. Emotional issues, self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem. Physical association, central nervous system, pancreas, liver, digestive tract, skin. Then we go to the heart chakra, the Anahata. Love, relationships, and self-acceptance. This is the green wheel of light. It's our ability to love. It's at the center of the chest, just above the heart. And the emotional issues are love, joy, and inner peace. And the physical association, the heart, the thymus, the lower lung, circulatory system, immune system. Then we go to the throat chakra, blue wheel of light, the Vishuddha, self-expression. It's our ability to communicate. And then the location is the throat. And our emotional issues are areas of communication, self-expression of feelings, and the truth. And the physical association, thyroid, respiratory system, teeth, vocal cords. Then we go to the third eye chakra, the ajna, intuition, sense of purpose, and direction in life. This is the indigo wheel of light. It's our ability to focus on and see the big picture. It's located in the forehead between the eyes. Emotional issues, intuition, imagination, wisdom, ability to think and make decisions. Physical association, pituitary gland, eye, and sinuses. And then we go to the crown chakra, the sahasrara, the connection to the divine. The highest chakra, this is our highest chakra, represents our ability to be fully connected spiritually. It's the very top of the head. Emotional issues, inner and outer beauty, our connection to spirituality, pure bliss. Our pineal gland, physical association, pineal gland, brain, nervous system. Now this is divine positive energy in our breath. These are all energy vortexes in the etherical. They're all connected to all of our emotions and all of our organs, our body, and our spirit, our higher self, our soul, our God, all connected, all synergistically. This is about getting to know who and what you are. Now imagine the divine positive energy. We've brought it up through all of this, all the way to the crown chakra, the purple, violet chakra, wheel of light. And we hold it just a little bit back, and we hold it, I am light, I am love, I am. And in that brief holding, we compress and condense it into a powerful liquid energy. And then we release it over the pineal gland. Pineal gland is very important to us while we're in these bodies. It is the gateway to all the particles of existence. It's the gateway to pure consciousness. It is the gateway to all beyond. So it's important that it's fully functioning, healthy, and vibrant. And when you release this pure liquid energy over the pineal gland, you can view it as a prune, a raisin, however you view it. I view it as a rose bud. And when the liquid energy is released upon it, it immediately blooms into a full, highly fragrant rose with multicolored petals, eternal, healthy, vibrant, and fully functioning. Now we're also consciously aware that we are each, all of us, are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. And we have others with us immediately, the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, and the archetypes, trillions of them. They vibrate at a different frequency than we do, so this is why we don't see them like we see each other. Now, they'll appear in humanoid form just to interact with us. And you won't know right in the meeting, but you'll have a feeling within your heart mind that comes in that will identify that that was an angel. Now, they can surround us, any one of us, in the thousands. Because of their frequency, they can house themselves in a small area, large number in small areas. And when that happens, you're in total bliss. They've been assisting us since the beginning. They're consciously aware that they are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And they're with us. And we help each other. We always have. And we have the Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda Jesus, El Moria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, many, many, many more. These are those who have ascended out of body, have a mastered ascension out of body, and hold God form, pure consciousness. We have ascended into body and are mastering, experiencing the body. They've mastered, we're mastering. Does that make them any better, so-called better than us? No, we're all equal. We're all gods. Now, the three groups of us are gathered at this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, this meditation, forming the circle of light, for its liberation. For the people of planet Earth to be liberated. To completely leave 3D and move permanently into 5D. I shouldn't say permanently, I'd say we will be in 5D and we will continue to move up. Now, we are compelled to call upon all of the different facets and aspects, particles, pieces of all of us, all in existence. So we call out to all light energy beings that are in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude. And they come in the googleplexes. One googleplex fills this universe. One googleplex. They come in the trillions of googleplexes from every direction, and they're with us now. We call upon all the inhabitants of inner Earth, hollow Earth, Agartha, beneath Earth, many civilizations and species, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, and the forming of this circle of light. And they come in the billions. And they're with us now. We call upon all of the off-worlders, all the galactics, all the celestials, only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation of forming the circle of light. Now, we're only familiar with a handful of them. There's over 1,000 that come through this solar system every day. And this includes all the species, all the levels in these civilizations. And the Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Zeta Reticuli, Feline, Greys, Nords, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian, many, many, many more. They've been assisting us in our evolution and our enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed slavery. And they come in the billions. And they're with us now. We call upon all of our loved ones, all of those who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we have inhabited. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, this meditation, and the forming of the circle of light. And they come in the billions. And they are with us now. We call upon all the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now, in this meditation, the forming of the circle of light. Only those who are consciously aware that they are of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest, the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude, can be with us in this now, in this meditation, in the forming of the circle of light. Now, they're in the trillions. Shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations, of which many we've never seen before. Now, we're only familiar with a handful of them. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, many, many, many more. And they are with us now. We're all gathered at this planet, arm in arm, hand in hand, all of our gods as one. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, and abundance. And we're all one, and we're all God, and we're all love, and our God-light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, and it continues to intensify, and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light, all of us together. This circle of light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of space. It is pure, deep, eternal love, that of which made us. It saturates and floods this entire planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. All of our brothers and sisters, all species, all civilizations, head to toe, inside and out. Now, as we begin to levitate up above the planet, the brilliance of this circle of light would take at least 1 billion of the suns in this solar system to compare to its brilliance. We find ourselves moving into a gossamer field, trillions of multiple colored lights, little mirrors reflecting all of us together, all aspects, all facets, endless, saturating, flooding, and bathing everything in pure, deep, eternal love and gratitude. And as we continue to levitate up, we're immediately met by the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column that reminds us that we are the power of healing. Immediately then, we are presented with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column that reminds us of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we're met with the white fire. This is a column that reminds each and every one of us that we are all imbued, head to toe, inside and out, with a God white fire energy, frequency of deep, pure, eternal love. It cannot be penetrated from any external force or power. It cannot be violated. Nothing externally can harm any of us. Now, only you have the power, only you, if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency deeply enough into the dark lower matter frequencies, the dark lower survival matter frequencies, it will create a breach in your armor. This breach will allow these lower frequencies to come flooding in. If you choose to do this, then you are met with the purple transmuting flame. This column immediately reminds you that you can bring in the purple transmuting flame. You can transmute all of these lower vibrational frequencies into neutral light substance, and you can send it back to pure consciousness where they are no more. Then you're immediately met with the violet ray. This column reminds us that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame to rebalance, harmonize, and bring your vibrational frequencies back into deep eternal love and gratitude, sealing the breach. Then we come along as we continue to ascend the golden white pink light. This column reminds us of the love that we are, of the love that created us. And it reminds us every way it can. We see it in our sunsets and our sunrises. We see it in our clouds and our skies. We see it in our waterways. We see it in our forests, our trees. We see it in our rainbows. And when we're in such awe, we're in awe of the love that we are. It is a reflection of the love and the gods within every one of us. It's always there. Now, some of us, as we continue to levitate up, that are holding physical form, decide to step out of the physical form and just hover effortlessly above. As we do this, we come upon a crystalline light tower. This tower, we created it. It is larger than the solar system. And it looks just like a crystalline tower, but you look inside and you see this, it's a prism, it's a humming, it's a circular aura, and it's trillions and trillions of brilliant colored lights. And each light is kind of pulsing, and it waves out amongst the civilization of this planet. And it saturates, floods, and bathes. And it gives out the understanding of all of us that we are abundance, that we are prosperity, that we are happiness, that we are joy, that we are bliss, that we are peace, that we are tranquility, that we are benevolence. We're all of these. And it floods us, and it literally vaporizes any blockages that we may have, that we don't know this, that we aren't aware of it. It allows us to become aware. Now, at the top of the crystalline light tower, we see the golden ocean. The golden ocean, we designed it so it can come cascading down 360 degrees eternally. This golden ocean is pure, deep, eternal love. And it, too, is saturating, flooding everything and everything. Each of us are a drop of that golden ocean, and each of us hold the essence of that ocean. Visualize this in your heart minds as you know it to be true, that the frequencies of the planet and the civilization have accelerated to such an extent that the third density is becoming a memory. That's it. Mere memory. And this planet, this civilization, and this now, and this meditation, and this circle of light is transforming. We, who are somewhat aware and awake, are ascending. By ascending, we're moving into a God planet, a paradise. And you're experiencing it each step of the way. Now we move a little bit over and we see our meditative sphere. We created this sphere. It's at center circle. It's massive. And it houses over 900 meditations that all of us, from everything and everything, have intended day after day after day, well over 2 years. And it holds them all in perpetual motion. The purest of the deepest eternal love and gratitude. No expectations, no attachments. And it floods and saturates all of us nonstop. Inside and out, head to toe. All those meditations, all those intents, for all of us. You can feel how powerful that truly is. This is why the sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And this is why it continues to intensify and it continues to expand. We are all perfection in these bodies. We are all pure love. However you want to name the essence of all creation within each and every one of us. The God, the pure consciousness, the spirit, the higher self, the soul, all one. All pieces of the one. And this is why you're beginning to understand more and more that you're on a God planet, and you're in a paradise. And it's forming, taking shape every split second. And we are leaving permanently the 3D. I join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. visualize in your heart, mind, the ascension that continues for many of us, liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and see the mists of the higher frequencies as they envelop you. Feel the bliss within, without. And the joy and the abundance, it's becoming more and more apparent every second. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. Embrace it. We're the orchestrators. We're the ones that have been making the change and the ascension into higher frequencies. We're all God, we're all love, and we're all one. We'll be back here August 13th, 2020, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guide.